isn't optional, it's the first step. Outline the splinter guard right on the mark. Don't force it. Let the motor eat. If you push too hard, the blade binds. Solo work needs support. The roller's stand catches the weight. Get balanced. Keep the pace. Stopping mid-cut burns the edge. Sheet goods require a solid setup. This guide keeps the saw tracking true. Wrangling a full sheet is half the battle. Layout has to be exact. Unmark the line, accounting for the blade curve. Steady pressure against the guide. Let the tool do the work. Plywood gives me structure, but that edge is ugly. Solid stock hides the layers. A consistent bead of glue is mandatory here. If I starve the joint, the router vibration will pop it loose. Once the jig is dialed in, muscle memory takes over. Brad nails act as clamps. They hold the position, while the glue does the actual bonding. Then, the flush trim. The bearing rides the template, cutting the plywood dead flush. Simple mechanics, beautiful result. Once the jig is dialed in, muscle memory takes over. Batch work is about rhythm. Glue, align, and pin it. If the setup is off, the whole run is ruined. Once the jig is dialed in, muscle memory takes over. Then, the flush trim. The bearing rides the template, cutting the plywood dead flush. Simple mechanics, beautiful result. I start with a hard template. Tracing this onto the plywood ensures every leg is identical, no guessing games. Blade speed up, then I engage the wood. Don't force it. On these curves, let the saw do the work. Pushing too hard bends the blade, ruining the edge. Support the offcut right at the end, so it doesn't tear out the ply when it drops. Jigsaws always leave a rough face. A few passes with the rasp brings it back to the line. Check against the master. Perfect. This is batch work. I break down the sheet, getting the rough shapes free. On long rips, don't push. Just guide the saw. Let the blade do the work. Now the curves. It becomes a rhythm. Muscle memory kicks in, and every cut matches. Steer from the back. If you twist the nose, you lose the line. 20 legs. Identical curves. Ready for the sander. When you've got a stack this tall, you stop thinking about the individual leg. It becomes about the rhythm. Constant pressure, consistent feed rate. Eyes and ears. Can't build if you can't see. Got a tall stack of partition legs to mill. Don't fight the machine. Let the cutters do the work. You just guide it through. But speed means nothing if the stock isn't flat. Check the edge. Trust your hands. Once the setup is dialed in, it's just muscle memory. Listen to the motor. If the pitch drops, ease off. Sight down the line. Square, straight, and ready for joinery. It starts with a template. Any bump here transfers to every single leg. I sand a dead flush. The router bearing rides right on this edge. Pin nails lock it down. Now, the flush trim bit takes over. I keep consistent pressure against the bearing. Around the curve, I'm listening to the motor. Don't force it, let the cutters eat. Perfect copy. Protect the senses, then get to work. Template pinned tight dictates the shape. The bearing rides the pattern, shearing the plywood flush. Don't push too hard, let the router eat. It's not just repetition, it's about identical results. A couple pin nails lock the template, perfectly rigid. Riding that bearing, letting the router trim exactly flush to the pattern. Pop the template, and the edge is identical to the master. Repeat for the batch. Then sand out the marks. High RPMs mean high decibels, safety first. The bearing on this flush trim bit rides the template, copying the shape perfectly. Batch work is about rhythm. Feed rate stays constant, letting the cutter do the work. Just a light pass to break the sharp edges. That's the beauty of the router. 20 legs, all identical. Respect the tool. Ears on, gloves tight. Flush trim bit. The bearing rides the template, forcing the rough stock into line. You can't let dust build up behind the bearing. If it packs in, that cut is ruined. Keep it clean. Once the setup is dialed, it's just rhythm. Consistent pressure, steady feed rate. Dead flat, ready for joinery. Leather on. This grit doesn't forgive. Consistent pressure. Let the tool eat. Don't force it. Eyes lie. Hands tell the truth. Every facet needs attention. Breaking the edges, just enough. Shaping custom steel inserts for a magnetic leg system. Dead flat is the only option. I chamfer the edges, otherwise sharp steel tears the walnut. The moment of truth, a perfect friction fit. Seated flush, and it's ready for the magnets. Drill bits are round, but I need a square slot, so I start by hogging out the bulk of the waste. Then, the oscillating tool squares up the corners. It keeps the walls vertical and ensures a tight friction fit. I'm using a thick structural adhesive here. It fills the voids and locks the metal plate in. When I press it home, I look for that squeeze out. That confirms a solid bond. Flush trim the excess. Now the steel is dead level with the wood. It's a magnetic system, invisible until you need it. Curved partitions need borders. Ripping the stock down, establishing the width. Then the curve cut. Steady feed rate. If I hesitate, it burns. Before the saw spins up, the layout has to be dead on. This display partition relies on clean lines. Breaking down the stock at the miter station, getting everything to manageable lengths. Now the rip cuts. I need constant pressure against that fence to keep it straight. Find a rhythm. Feed, booze, rippa. That is a solid batch. Layout first. Trust the tape, but verify the mark. The speed square keeps me honest. A square line means a tight joint. Let the blade do the work. Don't force it down, or you'll burn the end grain. Before the rip, I check the fence. Square is non-negotiable. Consistent pressure against the fence. That's how you get a clean edge. Now for the joinery details. I mark the wayside clearly, so I don't cut the wrong line. Finally, the belt sander erases the tool marks. Smooth to the touch. Leather gloves, essential for grip. Ripping the bottom cap, constant pressure against the fence. Construction adhesive for the bond. A steady bead. Press into place. Check the reveal and lock it in. Ripping the cap to width. Constant feed rate prevents burning. Adhesive goes on, just a thin, consistent bead. It's a friction fit. I line up the edge and let the geometry do the work. Seating it with a block. Direct impact leaves marks. Distributed pressure sets it flush. I don't trust the saw scale. Digital gets me to 33. With a bevel cut, the wood wants a drift. I apply pressure just before the blade, keeping it locked. Steady feed rate prevents burning. Trust, but verify. That edge is crisp. Most stick to standard 45s, but this partition needs a specific 33-degree bevel. Sizing the stock first. One clean pass. With the blade tilted, the mechanics change. I need constant pressure against the fence. If I rush, it burns. If I hesitate, it burns. Crisp. That geometry locks the whole build together. Before any steel touches wood, the layout has to be dead on. I'm verifying the spacing for the bottom edge. Transferring lines across the stack ensures the assembly stays square. The belt sander takes the banding flush to the core. You have to keep it moving, otherwise you dig a trench. The router handles the final profile. Always pre-drill near the edge. If you force a screw here, the plywood layers will just delaminate. Clean lines, solid connection. Plywood comes rough from mill. You have to knock the grain down before it ever sees glue. Don't ignore the edges. I'm cutting spacers here. Measuring is fine, but a physical jig never lies. Now for the commitment. A consistent bead. Not too much, where you're just cleaning up a mess later. Drop those spacers in. This guarantees the partition is dead center without me fighting a tape measure. Trust the process. Pin it in place. Remember, the glue does the real work here. Dimensioning the blocking first. The glue is the real structural bond here. The screws are just temporary clamps, holding it tight until the adhesive cures. Sanding it flush ensures a perfect fit. Dropping the bottom skin on. Locking it down. This foundation has to be rigid. When doing batch work, rhythm is everything. I anchor the corners first. If the frame shifts, the piece is ruined. Now it's just repetition. Muscle memory takes over. Stage the screws by hand. Saves reaching for the pouch constantly. Then lock it down. Before assembly, the stock needs to be dead flat. I'm running a consistent bead here. You want squeeze out, not a mess. A flush trim bit cleans up that overhang. Pins hold the alignment while the glue cures. Check for plumb. The bubble doesn't lie. Clean lines, solid build. Laminating plywood gives you strength, but it leaves these ugly voids. I'm packing the seam tight with plastic wood. A knife bridges the gap. My finger forces it deep into the fibers. Now it's just about finding the rhythm. A final scrape cleans the edge, ready for the sander. It's not about force, it's about flow. Let the belt do the work. Keep the pressure light, consistent. If I hesitate, the friction burns the edge. When you're running a batch, you have to find a rhythm. Muscle memory takes over. One strip, then the next. Don't look at the pile. Just watch the contact point. Your fingers don't lie. These partition legs are awkward beasts, heavy and odd-shaped. The belt sander isn't for finishing, it's for sculpting, removing bulk material. Keep it moving constantly. Stop, and you dig a divot. Check the curve. Good. People think sanding is just removing material. It's actually about leveling the playing field. On a piece this big, I map the path before I even hit the switch. Keep the belt moving. If I stop, it digs a divot. Constant motion. Watch the edges. Don't roll over. Keep that line crisp. Dust hides the truth. The wipe down reveals if the work is done. For a brand impression like this, surface marking isn't enough. I'm slowing the travel speed and upping the power. We need to vaporize the wood fibers, not just scorch them. That depth creates a permanent shadow. giving the logo crisp edges that stand out against the grain. I don't buy applicators. I fold a tight cotton rubber to control the flow. This is pale maple. The moment that shellac hits, the grain wakes up. It's not just adding color, it's adding depth, pulling that amber tone right out of the fibers. On the molding, the brush has to keep moving. If I hesitate here, the finish pools in the corners. For the flat panels, it's about rhythm. Long, overlapping strokes, keeping a wet edge so it dries uniform. Finally, the finesse. I come back with that cotton pad to level the surface. It pulls out the brush marks, leaving nothing but glass.